Welcome, night owls. Do a fade out on that, but since we do have 6 people at 11 o'clock at night, I feel so okay. You gonna say hi to people? You gonna calm down now? Yeah. He wants to go into the other door because there's a window that he likes to. It's my roommate's room, and he wants to go in there, but she's not here, so he can't go in there. So he's got to like meow, you know. A cat can only hope to go into the area that he wants to. It's sorry that I'm streaming so late tonight on a Sunday. I've been really busy. I started back at college. I've got 15 units. I'm a little bit worn out. And right when I was like, okay, I got everything done, my work done, my homework done today. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm like, okay, ready for showtime. And I'm like, wow, I'm kind of tired, but I'm here anyways because I want to talk about it. I've been following the Russell Brand situation. Okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. I've been, watching what's going down with Russell Brand, and then the aliens, which I want to talk about, the mummies that were everybody. I guess were discovered in Mexico, and I think from what I've watched in a video, I'm going to play some of them here in a moment. They've been around for 1,000 years. Like all of a sudden these, alien bodies are discovered, but they remarkably look just like E.T. from the movie E.T. Like, wow, how did Steven Spielberg know exactly what an alien looks like? I mean, that's the part that gets me. I'm like, come on, man. It looks like E.T. Really? Like, I don't know why. I mean, that just kind of makes me feel, I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, oh, this is like too much. Yeah. There's been like in Mexico. You haven't seen that yet? In Mexico, they had a conference and they were showing these aliens in caskets. Matter of fact, maybe that's where I'm going to start first tonight. Okay, it's showtime now. We need you to calm down. Calm down. Calm down. I'll play with you in a little while. Yeah. Okay. No, it's not old footage. It's a new story that's breaking, John. Here, let me show you. Let me show you the alien stuff. Let me show you. We'll start with this. We'll start with aliens. Okay, our wonderful News Nation, which has been giving us quite a bit of alien news. Here, let me share the screen here for a second. I want to hold on. All right. Let's go here.
Well, tomorrow, NASA set to release the findings of a heavily anticipated report on unidentified anomalous phenomena, also known as UAPs. Now, it comes as Mexico holds its first ever hearing on UFOs, with scientists putting on display what they claim are the remains of 2 extraterrestrials. News Nation's Joe Khalil joins us live with these developments. Joe, this is some big news.
Yeah, Kelly, we got big news on multiple fronts here globally on the UFO story. So let's start with NASA that you referenced off the top here. Tomorrow, the agency is going to be releasing its findings on UAPs. Because of significantly increased reports and sightings, last year, NASA put together this team to study the phenomenon, figure out what's real, what we know, and what is still a mystery. And after almost a full year, we are going to finally get that report tomorrow. Before that, we expect NASA officials, including the head.
Okay, I'm going to skip a little bit farther on this because I'm trying not to get a copyright on it. Oh, I guess I should put my banner on too, right? But anyway, here it is. Let's go to here. Let me put my banner on really quick. This is for fair use. We're just critiquing the material and educating the public, and this is allowable by law. Okay. All right, so let's keep going here. All right, here we go.
According to a prominent Mexican UFO journalist and researcher, these are 2 non-human corpses, both.
Yeah, it's got the 3 fingers and everything. And what's this? Oh, like this pretty, like Let's get the 3 fingers, and then it's got like all this kind of sediment on there. Okay.
At least 1,000 years old, discovered in Peru back in 2017, and then fossilized. Now, look, there is a lot.
Discovered, wait, go back. It was discovered in 2017 and then fossilized. Wait, okay. Let's do this again one more time.
And then fossilized. Now, look, there is a lot of skepticism.
Go back far enough. Go back a little farther. These are 2 non-human corpses. Okay, let's like read the
17 and then fossilized.
Oh, darn it. Here we go. Let's go back. It's here.
This is according to a prominent Mexican UFO journalist and researcher. These are 2 non-human corpses, both at least 1,000 years old, discovered in Peru back in 2017 and then fossilized. Now, look, there is.
What does that mean? Discovered back in 2017 and then fossilized? Wouldn't it have been fossilized like before 2017? I don't know. Just the wording on that is weird.
There's a lot of skepticism here about whether these are real, whether this is legitimate. We ourselves can't verify any of this. So
look at that. E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home. Give me some Reese's. Okay, I'll stop.
We are skeptical about what we're seeing here at News Nation when it comes to the origins of these things in this video. Nonetheless, these displays were a part of a
E.T. phone home. Okay.
legitimate Mexican congressional hearing. Ryan Graves, the former Navy pilot who actually testified before the U.S. Congress back in July, he was also there sharing his story and his experiences with UAPs, Kelly. So, I think a lot of work still having to go into whether or not these things are real. Mexico's Congress debating whether they're going to be enhancing a.
It's going to be really embarrassing if they're not. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay. Now let's go to here's another one on it. Now this one, I haven't really looked too much on this video, but I'm going to show it anyways. So let's go with this one. This is WON. Okay, so previously debunked shows alleged non-human bodies to Mexico's Congress. Is Mexico's alien-like structure all a hoax? All right. Call fraud on supposed scientists. Call fraud on supposed extraterrestrials presented to Mexican Congress. Now, again, I'm not seeing any attribution here, so I'm not really even familiar with two alleged. See, what's the description? Two alleged. Let me put my glasses on here. 2 alleged alien corpses were displayed during a public hearing of the Mexico Congress. I mean, you'd think that they must have had a lot of confidence of it in these corpses if they displayed them at the public hearing. But now these specimens were found in diatom algae mines and were later fossilized. Contrary to some beliefs, they were not beings recovered from a UFO crash. Okay, so what does that mean? Like, what was it doing in algae and then later fossilizing? And then where? And if there's no UFO crash, then how did it get here? I mean, I don't know. Why on The World is One News examines global issues with in-depth analysis. We provide much more than the news of the day. Our aim is to empower people to explore their world. With our global headquarters in New Delhi, we bring you news on the hour, by the hour. We deliver information that's not biased. We are journalists who are neutral to the core and nonpartisan when it comes to world politics. People are tired of biased reportage, and we stand for a globalized, united world. So for us, the world is truly one. Okay, so this is a news source based in India. Okay, so let's keep going. believed they were found near a UFO crash, but they believe it. It's a big thing right there. It's believing something and having it happen are two different things. Sorry for the quotation marks, but I'll do it again. All right. They were a retreat from you're believing 1,000 years believe still. They retreat from example was compared to the body is known during. I was turning down the volume of the bodies has an egg inside. Whoa. X-rays of the body the green. One of the bodies had eggs inside. And both had implants rare metals like oxygen. Here comes the catch. The event was created by James Lasson for hiding. Ex-journalist is UFO has been liar. Associated with fake claims of aliens before. This credibility is lacking credibility. Even though he testified under oath, the specimens are not part of our solution. Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna. Oh wait, here's another one. Let's watch this one too, just for the fun of it. Let's watch this one. Yeah, okay. So you know that he's okay. Yeah, okay. Jeff says if Jamie Masson believes it, it's fake. Other DNA samples. The heads are from llama skulls. All right, wait. 30% unknown DNA means 30% degraded. Hi, Vanessa. It's good to see you here tonight. I'm doing a late night stream. I was hoping you'd be here, Vanessa. I don't know why. I had a feeling. I wonder if Vanessa's going to show up, and you did. Cake samples. Yeah, it's just too perfect for me. It's too ET. It's too. I don't know. It just doesn't seem. And then they've had it since 2017. It's like it's 5 years later. We're getting it now. I don't know. It's interesting timing. All right, let's look a little bit more. I'm kind of here's another broadcast that came up here. Let's see what this one says.
Are you a believer or are you a skeptic? Because if Steven Spielberg's E.T. is among your favorite movies...
Here we go. See, I wasn't off base. If Steven Spielberg's movie E.T. was one of your favorite movies,
Then here's a story that will make your jaw drop. It's the notion that we are not alone in this vast universe. In fact, an idea passionately championed by Mexican journalist and ufologist Jaime Maussan.
okay, but the thing of it is that how could it? Like, let's just. Why does it look like a movie Alien? Why does it look like a movie Alien? Okay, there's either two things happening. One is they must think we're stupid and they're gonna like throw this in front of us and say this is it, because they think that we've been conditioned by what an alien looks like based on a Steven Spielberg film, or Steven Spielberg and the film industry knew about extraterrestrials a long time ago and actually patterned an alien of an ET so that people would be used to looking at ETs when we finally got to see one, which would mean that there would be like this even more elaborate cover up connecting Hollywood to it, which that sounds like a conspiracy, right? If you were going to do a hoax on somebody and you're going to present a fake alien in front of people, when we are getting these more, what you consider to be more newsworthy, I'm going to say newsworthy, just so I don't ruffle anybody's feathers here, alien disclosure or UAP disclosure, right? And then we get this coming out. And it's like, and how many people? I mean, I almost want to take, maybe I'll make a poll on it. Do you think these are the real aliens? How many people actually? I'm curious to see what the overall reaction to this is. Like are people buying it? You're like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm having issues. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not. The fact that it looks like ET is I wish it looked different. I wish it was something that doesn't look like what I expect an alien to look like.
He believes in the existence of extraterrestrial life, and he, in fact, has backed his claim with proof. Proof, he claims, of actual remains of what he believes are alien beings.
I have to say this too. In archaeology or in anthropology, there was a skull or remains. Like most of the oldest fossils of a hominin are in Africa. There's none. Well, the oldest ones are in Africa. I think the Neanderthals were discovered in Europe because they were in Europe and they interbred with the modern human that's right now. That's why some people have Neanderthal DNA. But there was a time where there was this one discovery that was going around for a long time that they say, oh, we found, the oldest one in Europe, and it was a hoax. Like literally, it was they had taken even animal skeleton and put it in with this, it wasn't real. So, based on the fact that even in science, a scientist is trying to pull one over our eyes, I would say that. Why wouldn't this be done to us too as well? And what if there is there's an agenda for a fake disclosure? What if this is? I mean, come on! I'm just kind of surprised that this is getting as much press as it is, and that it was shown in the congressional hearings of Mexico, without having further evidence. I mean, okay, so they're showing x-rays. Maybe it's the x-rays that are doing it. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to let that go. Now, I want to just, on this particular topic, I want to also show the religious take on it. All right. Just because I think it's, for me, when I look at stuff, I like to look at to see what demographics are saying what about something that's happening. And so, see, Vanessa says, 1,000-year-old skeletons are never preserved like that. Why now, though? What's behind it? What's behind the BS? That's what I want to know. Yeah, that's my question. Like, what's behind the BS? Why? Why bring BS into the equation? They're seeing how much of it we'll buy, or they're doing it to discredit what has come out. That's Sandra. John, if it was so real, there would be a much better disclosure. That's what I think. Concept art model. It's the way they present these things to the world, too. Paul Shields says it's 100% fake. Cambion counted something like 70 confirmed Jamie Masson hoaxes. Wow, did he? I'll have to check that one out. Was E.T. very big in Mexico? I don't know, but I think E.T. is one of those kind of universal movies that was probably seen around the world in different languages. Second Coming of Christ? I don't think so. I hope not. I don't think. Okay, so I want to get the religious take on it. So I'm going to play a little bit of, I don't know, what is he calling his show now? An eye for an eye. Okay, so this is an eye for an eye. I'll play this for a minute.
Now, don't turn away because you think that this is some type of onion-like story that is from a tabloid at the grocery store. No, this is stuff that's actually occurring in Congress. While
it looks like a tabloid, though, doesn't it? It looks like you can see that on a, yeah, right with alongside Bat Boy.
Everybody's going broke. Nobody can argue that they're not seeing.
I can't get over the face. This is like, come on, come on. Okay.
It in their wallet when things cost $1 million every time you go to buy even something like a dozen eggs or a gallon of milk is $10. So everybody's going broke. Everybody hates one another. Everybody is becoming content with children choosing their own genders. And of course, in Congress, instead of, trying to make things normal again, and by all definition of normal, I mean sane. No, instead, we just decide to take it to new levels of insane, of course, because remember, we have to continue to indoctrinate the sleeping masses out there. So what better way, of course, than to have somebody roll in 2 caskets?
I mean, you have to be sleeping a lot if you're going to buy this. All right. You got to be really gullible
into a courtroom and allege that they are deceased aliens. That's right. Deceased aliens. In fact, one of them is actually pregnant. Right? It died with it was a pregnant alien at one point. I guess they were conceiving here on Earth. It died. I'm surprised that they didn't want to abort the child in the courtroom as well while they were there, since they love to do that so much. But this is what's going on in America, ladies and gentlemen. A mass indoctrination is occurring. They are using the courts to put absolutely ludicrous things in front of our faces and act as if we're supposed to believe this stuff. We're supposed to believe that men are born in the wrong bodies, that women are born in the wrong bodies, that men should be castrating their children.
Okay, let's move on here.
Allegedly.
Here we go.
Aliens being presented in Mexico. Experts who study extraterrestrials testified in front of the country's Congress.
I just can't get over the finger part. The 3 fingers just get me. You really.
Bodies in caskets revealed during the proceedings.
Allegedly.
Air quote bodies, right?
Yeah, okay.
The white-looking corpse were.
He does mention in this that he says, oh well, why are they lying? Why are they lying in caskets? Like, because they look like, like little caskets and
Said to be found in Peru in 2017, estimated to be 1,000 years old.
Allegedly.
Scans of the bodies claim they have the big brains, the big eyes, 3 fingers. They lack teeth. This comes 2 months after a former American Navy fighter.
So maybe since they lack teeth, that's why they had whole eggs in their stomach, because they can't chew them. Just swallow an egg. Okay.
Pilot testified in front of U.S. Congress about the existence of.
It just looks like it's been etched to me. Like the nose has been created and the little, it's like it looks sculpted to me. I don't know about you guys, but
Of UFOs.
I'm just thinking if I have alien bodies, I'm not keeping them under wraps for like 6-7 years before I roll them out. That's all I'm saying.
I think. Okay, some new video today of what some say is evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. Presenters say the 2 mummified bodies they unveiled before Mexico's Congress this week were recovered in Peru in 2017 and were 700 and 1,800 years old, respectively. The remains have only 3 fingers on each hand and elongated heads. One of the researchers who presented the remains says he could prove the DNA of the 2 mummies did not belong to human beings.
Yeah, it's probably like synthetic. I mean, like the DNA, like doesn't even. I mean, how do they know it's even DNA? I don't know.
They are quite something to look at, Josh.
That they are.
Yes, it looks like E.T. essentially, and I see there was a spot.
It does look like E.T. Come on,
above government camp too, from what I'm looking at right there.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so let me see what else we have here. See, he's gonna.
Feller and the other. I mean, it obviously resembles our current president, so maybe he took the day off and went into the White.
But he resembles our current president. Hold on, what does he say here? Let's go back.
So, of course, I don't know if that's George Bush in that casket, maybe David Rockefeller in the other. I mean, and it obviously resembles our current president, so maybe he took the day off and went into the went into the courtroom as well. I mean, can you make?
It's weird how it's got it's like here's the skull, right? And it goes back here, and then the face is pushed up in the front like that. It's kind of odd.
Make this stuff up? Or does anybody even want to ask why this guy has possession of it? Or does somebody even want to ask an even more important question? Why do they have caskets? Right. They only bring this into Congress to obviously just beat it into people's heads that aliens are real. They're using different methods of mind control at this point. And this is one of them. So Mexico City, their Congress heard testimony from experts who study extraterrestrials this week. And the hearing started with a huge surprise. Jamie Mason, a self-described UFOologist, brought 2 caskets into the congressional chambers. So Lord only knows what that guy's doing with those, by the way. Who owns these? That guy Jamie Masakis owns these things? He's bringing them home at night? I don't want to know what he's doing with them, but you think maybe the government, if this was real, would want to make sure that this wasn't going in front of court? No, of course not. They want this in front of court because they want you to believe the deception now, because it's time, because they're full throttle here at the Agenda 2030. So they say the corpses.
I just think that if there's going to be some sort of deception, maybe they should just do a hologram or something, not this. Like, I mean, if this is a big hoax and a waste of our time, then they should have been a little more creative with it.
Much you watch or play with Dungeons and Dragons, you must be a dork. Well, there's truth to that, but you get my point, right? We have a stereotypical depiction of an alien, and nobody goes, well, why do they look like that, mate? Why don't they look like elephants? How do we know they don't look like giraffes? Why do we have this? Oh, right. Because this depiction is to beat it into your head when they summon over spirits from the other side, which they're doing now using the technology and everything else that's going.
Okay, so what he does is he makes the reference, like he's under the impression, all right, which a lot of people, hold this belief, is that this type of that an alien, specifically one that looks like a gray, because this is kind of like the gray prototype with the 3 fingers, right, and the eyes and that kind of a face. that the Greys are actually Lamb, the Aleister Crowley demon that he conjured up. So there's also a belief that, you know, that type of alien, or that even an alien in general is a demon, or, you know, and not an extraterrestrial from another planet. So I'm just saying that because that conversation is being brought up in all of this, and it always will, and it does from different people, and I'm just making note of that.
Going on that people don't realize with artificial intelligence and quantum computers, they want you to know what it looks like so you're ready to accept it. Because if somebody said, hey, you know what? A demon is here. There are demons here. I think everybody would band together and go after them. No, they don't even want you. They don't even want you to just believe aliens exist. They want you to accept them. That's part of why they're doing this. To be like, that's great. Remember in the movie Independence Day?
So, you know, according to, like, from the religious side, if you accept the aliens, you're accepting the demons. That's see how that goes hand in hand.
They're like buzzing down, and the woman's like, we love you. That's pretty much what they're trying to do. And it's working, because now that we have such a weakened society, the aliens, just like we're seeing with artificial intelligence and robots, have more rights than people, right? Well, we're saying hate speech because we're not agreeing with the government, but the aliens are wonderful.
Here's another thing that okay, so it fossilized, right? So I guess when something fossilizes, you see the face and stuff, you see features, but like human remains, you know, that over 1,000 years that, you know, have you know, deteriorated. You don't see features like, I don't know. It just seems like the face is so pronounced in a way that it doesn't feel like the head is the skeleton. So I think like normal, like if it was like they took an X-ray of it, but why do they need to have an X-ray? Why isn't it just the bones instead of the X-ray if it's been 1,000 years? So I guess because it's mummified, or it's you know, different, but I don't know. I should know this.
Well, we should.
Actually.
If you get a flamethrower on an alien, that's murder. That's capital murder. You can get the electric chair for that. So the stereotypical depiction of an alien is from Aleister Crowley.
I mean, the hand doesn't even look like it's a skeleton. It looks like it's just. It looks like a sculpture to me. See, he brought up Aleister Crowley.
And the only reason they have a stereotypical image of what it's supposed to look like is because that's what the demons look like. Because that's what Crowley drew. Okay? And they want to normalize it so that when they do this stuff and bring these things.
I mean, they don't take an X-ray of bones when they're dug up because they're just the bones. Like, you don't go, oh, let me X-ray the skeleton. Let me X-ray this remains of a skeleton, but they X-rayed these, and then you saw the bones underneath this. That doesn't seem right to me.
Things over, which is what they're doing with CERN. We all know this, right? If you don't know it, well, you're welcome to the rabbit hole.
I mean,
okay?
Maybe it doesn't decay. I mean, like, oh, aliens don't decay at the same rate that humans do. But
they want you to be like, hey, whoa, it's just an alien, a demon. Demons aren't real, because if everybody knew demons were real, what do you think would happen? They would find God pretty fast.
Okay, so now you can see where this take is going, right? So I just wanted to show that, just to sort of bring that to your attention. Sorry if I seem kind of loopy. I am a little bit tired, but we're going to power through. We're not going to give up. Oh, darn it. I lost my YouTube thing. Bring this back again. What are you guys saying? _saying LOL. John says, no, it's ridiculous. Oh, I love you guys. Oh, I love my skeptic friends and my smart friends that pick everything apart. Nose should be a hole, no bone, right? Yes. Yeah, it's not. Come on. Looks like an inbred. Do they ever show it though? Let me see. Show the DNA then. Yeah. Jeff says, wait. Come on, show this. I guess dental records are out of the question. Yeah, because they don't have any teeth. Yeah, do better. Can you imagine being part of the Mexican Congress and thinking, I just want to fix the infrastructure? Looks like they played the banjo on Deliverance. That's hilarious. Oh, I would love to play that, but I probably have a copyright on that. That's so true, though. That's terrible. Oh. Okay, that's an old movie reference for everybody out there that hasn't seen Deliverance. You should. Squeal like a pig. Okay, I'll stop. Unless it's bread. That's not how things are preserved either, in a box covered in flour. Oh, John. Okay. With the duck lips, it looks way more like Trump than Biden. Biden. I mean, Trump. They don't care anymore. They don't care anymore about how good the lies are. Hi, Sandra. I saw you up here. Where are you? I know that you said something. Okay. Sandra, if they think we are this dumb, they better step it up. Yeah, it's bad, isn't it? It's bad. And talc. Or do scientists do things like this with the promise of future funding? Probably. Yeah. It needs to be examined. I mean, it needs to be really looked at by scientists. There are human bones in there from children. Oh, that's scary. Let's x-ray the thing x-rays would show. All right, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I might follow up on this later. We'll see how this plays out. But I'm thinking the consensus is tonight that we think we're debunking it. It's a fake. It's not. We're not buying it, right? Yeah, I know. Oops, I have water down here. You know how like some people say, "Oh yeah, sometimes what's real looks fake." Remember when Elon Musk said that? Like, what did he like? Wasn't one of his cars going off into space or something like that? And and it didn't look like it was real. And he goes, "Yeah, sometimes things that are real look fake." I thought he said something like that. Was it the car? I'm trying to remember. Something where Elon Musk said that, like some things that are real look fake. No, sometimes that's just a cover up when you're trying to when you know that what you're showing doesn't look real. Like we know it's bullshit. Oh yeah, sometimes fake things look real. Yeah, not buying it at all. Yeah. And I think like some of us, like I would really love it if the real thing really happened. I'd be like, okay. I mean, I'm not so close-minded that I don't think that there's no other life other than our existence, or that there's not UFOs. It's just like, don't give me this, okay? Because now I'm losing hope. I'm like, no, stop. Don't make me laugh. Thank you for the laugh. That's it. Let's move on. Oh, that's too funny. Okay. So let's talk about Russell Brand. Let's talk about Russell Brand for a minute. I actually have grown to like Russell Brand. I subscribe to his channel. I have been subscribed to him for a long time. For a long time, I wondered if he was like controlled opposition. You know, I think that maybe we think that about a lot of people. I even had somebody call me a shill yesterday. I read it. I made a comment and they go, "Aren't you that shill that was on American Freedom Radio?" And I'm like, just because I was on American Freedom Radio doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'm a shill, you know. And we're so, in a way, we don't trust what we see, and we don't we question the people that we listen to, and we should question. We should question someone's research, or what they're saying. I think that's healthy. If we just like sit back and go, "Oh, aliens, oh yeah," it's because they rolled it out in front of the Mexican congressional hearing. It must be real. It must be. I think we should always look and see and feel and ask ourselves how intuitively, because we do have intuition. Oh, is this real? Does it feel real to me? Does this seem like it's the truth? Does the science add up? Is it a rumor? Or what? Whatever. I mean, like a lot of times, like I heard, I know, Jeff, said to me earlier today that, he thought that Russell Brand was a Rothschild. I've heard that before too. And then later today, he said, I can't find any really solid evidence that he actually really is a Rothschild. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vanessa. I know you're if you're still here. In terms of like English accents, isn't Russell Brand's accent from a lower class is like a lower class accent? I mean, when I say that, I don't see over here in America, we hear an English accent and we're like, oh, it all sounds good. I used to make a joke like, if ugly guys, this is terrible. I shouldn't say this, but let's say, a guy could be a homely dude, right? And he has an English accent, and you're like, oh, hello. There's just something about the accent when you're an American that makes us want to take our panties off. I'm joking. Okay. I know I'm crude. I am crude. I'm like, just like other people say, I'm a crude comedian once in a while. But I think Russell Brand, I think maybe he is not have the educated. He has more of a working class accent. Maybe that's how I should say it. I don't know if she's still here or not. So, but I really think he's charismatic. He's had some really great shows. When he did at Brand X, wasn't it like he had a series on television, a talk show for a while? He's a great speaker. When he did that whole thing about, Fashion Week, and he went off about how, was it Tommy Hilfiger made the Nazi outfits, or was it Calvin? Who's the designer that made the Nazi outfits? Let me see. I'm gonna look this up really quick because I want to get it right. The Nazi outfits. Hugo Boss. Okay, so Hugo Boss was the German designer that joined the Nazi Party in 1931. He designed the uniforms. He made reference to that. That's one thing that I noticed that made him stand out. And he talks about things, and again, I got to be careful about what I say on my channel, because I don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube Nazis. He's talked about things that the mainstream media doesn't talk about. He interviewed Tucker Carlson. He looks at American politics and what's going on here and what's happening globally from an uncompromised position, or he has a huge influence on people. He has large numbers. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play a little bit of Sean Atwood just to sometimes when I say I'm going to do something, I can hear other people in my head going, Sean Atwood is blank, 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 but I also subscribe to Sean Atwood and I occasionally watch him. And congratulations, because he just had a baby. I mean, he didn't have a baby. I'm thinking, did he marry? It doesn't matter if he married the girl. I don't know. But the woman that he has a relationship with had a baby. So let me just put it that way. Okay. So here is some stuff that Sean Atwood says, and he's probably going to say it better than I am because I'm tired and punchy, and it's a late night stream. But I think he sums it up pretty well here. So.
Challenging the official narrative on Ukraine. And he's quoting Tucker Carlson. He's got Jordan Peterson on before that. And then 2 weeks ago, he's challenging the CDC director. And he's talking about the alarming rate at which young people are dying.
Let me go back.
2 weeks ago, he's also called.
Let me go back here.
He's challenging the official narrative on Ukraine. And he's quoting Tucker Carlson. He's got Jordan Peterson on before that. And then 2 weeks ago, he's challenging the CDC director. And he's talking about the alarming rate at which young people are dying. And 2 weeks ago, he's also calling out YouTube on the misinformation guidelines. And on and on and on and on and on it goes. And media companies are spending billions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, whatever it is. What is the value of a media company's goodwill? The brands they are creating. It's got to be for some of them in the millions, if not in the billions, for some of these massive international media conglomerates. Russell Brand, from a grassroots growth, has managed to put them all to shame. He's
okay. So Vanessa answered, not Gordy, just London working class. Very smart guy, though. Yeah, I think he is a really smart guy. I agree. He's front page today on every newspaper. Unreal. Destruction of Russell was inevitable. Saying too much. Familiar? Yes, it is familiar. It is familiar. Yep. Yeah. And I yeah. The Gordy accent, my favorite. LOL. It makes gravity affect my panties. Yeah, I feel bad. I actually think it's he's been saying too much. I do think that this is a setup. This is my feeling about it. They pulled out the, oh, here comes all these women. There's a string of women. He did this to me. He did that to me. He did blank, blank, blank. Na, 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 na. Right? It's the same old trick. Never changes. They don't create new ways of getting at somebody.
getting so many views without having to have a CNN type operation that these guys absolutely want him out of the way.
Yep.
Anyway, I did a little sidetrack there. We were talking about Musk backing him up. And then we've got, I'm just going over the timeline of the allegations. And I'll get to the chat while I'm just focusing on the timeline. And I'll get to the chat and we'll go back to some of the things I've got to cover on this. I'm going to show you the video as well. So, Brand has received disturbing letters. when he opened his video, he said it wasn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news, because in this story, I am the news. I received 2 extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper. We know now that's Channel 4, and I think it's the Sunday Times, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks. Nice alliteration, as well as some pretty stupid stuff, like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. Are we in Stalinist Russia? Has Russell Brand got to take the same measures as Alexander Solzhenitsyn, lest he end up in the gulag on false criminal charges? No, we are in the modern West, whereby we have freedom of speech, if you're watching this in America, guaranteed by the Constitution. Yes, all the various platforms have their own laws.
Well, we're supposed to be guaranteed by the Constitution. Let me just throw that in there.
And we have to abide by those laws if we are to maintain our presences on those platforms.
That's right.
But who on earth has the right to tell Russell Brand that he shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on his channel?
That's right.
That is an insult to our intelligence.
Yes.
We should be able to decide what we believe or not, and we should be provided a full range of information. Carmine Galante, again, thank you for the super chat. And like I said,
So I wanted to just show that. I'm showing a little bit of like Sean Atwood here. And then I want to play Russell Brand, like what he has said recently. Okay, and let's see, there he is. It's titled "So This Is Happening." I don't know if maybe you guys have already seen it, but I just want to show his announcement, right? So this is happening.
Wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make. Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received 2 extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies. And as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always
Oh, you were promiscuous. Russell Brand, say it isn't so. I'm kidding. I mean, we all kind of know this, right? I mean, who hasn't been promiscuous at one point in their life? I'm sorry. I sound terrible, right? But you got to realize too, when you're an addict, and he was an addict, he's a recovering addict, right? Which also involves sex addiction. We live in a society that a lot of people have addictions, whether it's cigarettes, whether it's alcohol, whether it's sex, whether it's working out all the time, a workaholic, food. I think probably. I haven't done a survey or anything like that, but I'm kind of curious about what percentage of humans are addicted to something in some form or another, right? So, first of all, I don't think we should really judge somebody, but he does have a past, and so within that being a sexual addiction, You know, he probably and being a celebrity, you know, when you're a celebrity like he has been, yeah, you get sex thrown at you every day. You can even be like a low-level celebrity person. You could just, you know, you like sex is easy to available to you. It just is. All right. I know. I had a little bit of fame. It's there everywhere.
Transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan, when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of. And we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you. You're getting too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago, there was a spate of articles. Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist. Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
Could I say one thing? Look at all the lies.
You know, I feel bad for him. I when I watch that video, I feel bad for him. I do. And I like the fact that he's very open and honest about his past. Like he holds himself accountable. And I don't think that there are very many people that do that, that say, oh yeah, I did that. You know, I'm recovered now. I wouldn't do it again. These are the insights that I've learned from this. This is part of my past, but this is what I am today. And this is where I'm trying to go, you know, to the future. And I think he's provided a lot of really valuable information to his audience. So that's my feeling about him. Vanessa says, destruction of Russell was inevitable. Saying too much is familiar. Okay. He certainly shakes things up. Sandra Preston says, Vanessa says, will he survive this? He's not Epstein and the rest. He didn't use his powerful position to return for sex. He just slept around. People find him attractive, for God's sakes. Yeah. Shocking. I like the shirt. Okay, that's _. Yeah, and you know what? Look, come on. Even if you don't work in the entertainment business, people do things, right? People do things behind closed doors. People do things that they don't mention. So probably like you can do like a bell curve on the people's sexuality just in general. You don't have to be Russell Brand. And he certainly hasn't done anything. Also, I'm kind of rambling here for a second because I got more thoughts going in at one time. I believe he may have had relations with somebody who was the age of 16. I think. I have to double check on, I'm going to look into some articles or exactly more specifically what the allegations are. But I believe, maybe Vanessa's here, I think the age, the legal age is 16 in England. So it's lower there than it is here in the United States. We're 18 here. So if he did those things in England, then he wasn't breaking any law. Okay, so look, let's share the screen here because first of all, I wanted to show you, like, I want to make mention of the meme that I made. Like, that picture that I used in this meme isn't a very flattering picture of him. He's like, oh, you know, he's like, he looks like his eyes are like, you know, he looks like he might be crazy, right? Like, he's like crazy. Here's the crazy Russell Brand guy. Because, and when you Google him, that's the picture that they're using. That's a picture that's one of the pictures that the media is using. That's one of the first things that comes up, which is, again, a tactic that the media uses when they want to paint somebody a certain way. They're going to take that one pose where your eyes or your face was doing something, things that it's not attractive, and they're going to rehash that out there to frame you in a particular way. People do it here on YouTube. You know, the trolls that I have, you know, or other people, you know, they take pictures, they take photos of me, they create fake profile, fake YouTube channels with my face on it, you know, with names like Peter Acropolis or something like that, and there's my face like this. You know, they're not gonna pick an attractive picture of you if they're trying to humiliate you. Doesn't matter if you're like small scale person on YouTube with a few trolls that don't like you, or whether or not you're Russell Branded and it's the mainstream media. They're doing it. I really seriously tried to find a better picture of Russell Brand, and I couldn't find it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do this one and just do like a thought bubble with it or something, you know. But I want to go and show what it looks like on Google. Okay. Now this not the greatest photo, really. This is good. This is good. This, I guess now they look a little bit better. Okay, so here's the Guardian. Oh, here's the New York Times too. But let's look at the Guardian. All right. Media personality has denied accusations from 4 women of assaults between 2006 and 2013. Russell Brand has been accused of rape, sexual assault, and emotional abuse over a 7-year period while he was at the height of his fame. 4 women have alleged sexual assaults between 2006 and 2013, while the comedian and actor also faces allegations of controlling, abusive, and predatory behavior after a joint investigation by the Sunday Times, the Times, and Channel 4 dispatches. Brand strongly denies the allegations, and in a video post online on Friday said he had been very promiscuous, but all of his relationships had been absolutely and always consensual. Here is a timeline of the allegations made against Brand. A woman claims Brand sexually assaulted her during a 3-month relationship in 2006 when she was 16 and still in school. And Brand, then 30, was a BBC radio presenter and host of Big Brother's Big Mouth. She told the Sunday Times that they had met when Brand approached her in Leicester Square. Okay, that must be in England, right? So she would be of age. I mean, not saying that 30 and 16 are the most healthiest arrangement for the 16-year-old, but if she was legal, then he wasn't, you know, committing a crime that way. After she'd been shopping and proceeded to go through her shopping bags and critique her purchases. So he's probably making a joke here, trying to be charming. She said he took out a dress and said, "You're going to wear this on our date this week." See, that's kind of romantic, actually. She claims she told her mother, who advised her to text Brand and tell him her age, but he was undeterred, and on the date asked to confirm she was 16. The woman said that over the following weeks, Brand referred to her as the child, and she alleged that he was controlling and sexually and emotionally abusive. She said he sent a card to her secondary school to take her out of lessons and ask her to save his name as Carly in her phone to deceive her parents. He also allegedly gave her scripts on how to lie to her parents and advised her to hide the relationship from her friends, describing the experience as isolating. Excuse me. The woman and family member described Brand's behavior to the Sunday Times as grooming. All right, so let's look. I'm going to find out what the age of consent is in England. (16) In England and Wales, the age of consent is 16. Okay. All right. Darn it. 2007, Jordan Martin alleges Brand sexually assaulted her and was physically and emotionally abusive towards her during a 6-month relationship from February 2007. She claims he assaulted her at the Lowry Hotel in Manchester when he became angry after finding out she had spoken to an ex-boyfriend and ripped her phone case apart to pull out the battery before touching her sexually. She said she was not ready for this intrusion and he did not find it pleasant. Martin made the allegations in a book published in 2014. She declined to be interviewed by the investigative reporters, but she told the Sunday Times she stood by her account. Brand denies all allegations made by the Sunday Times, but he has never challenged the content of the book. 2012, a woman alleges that Brand RAPED'd her against a wall at his Los Angeles home in July 2012 after she refused to join him in a sexual activity with a friend of Brand. She alleges that she told Brand to get off of her and that she wanted to leave, but he carried on and briefly blocked the door to prevent her from leaving afterwards. She told the Sunday Times she was treated at a RAPE treatment center that same day and had therapy treatment there for 5 months. Records seen by the Sunday Times show she contemplated criminal or civil proceedings, but ultimately decided against it. After the incident, Brand sent her text messages apologizing for what happened and describes his behavior as crazy and selfish. It happened the month that Brand's divorce from singer Katy Perry was finalized. 2013, a woman who told the Sunday Times she had met Brand at Alcoholics Anonymous meeting before they started working together claims he sexually assaulted her at his home in Los Angeles. She alleges he tried to kiss her and remove her clothes as he pinned her down, and she shouted at him to stop. I was screaming, "What are you doing? Stop, please, you're my friend," she said. She claims he eventually relented, but he flipped and shouted at her, saying she was fired. She claims that years later, she spoke to someone who had been working on a project with Brand and was outside the house at the time of the incident. He allegedly apologized for not helping her and said, "I heard you screaming and we were all so scared of him." Brand allegedly threatened the woman later with legal action if she told anyone about her allegation, and she said she never formally reported him because she feared it and that it feared it would affect her career. So is this person an actress? Like, why would it affect her career if she wasn't in the entertainment business? I'm just wondering. 2020, the woman who claimed she was sexually assaulted by Brand during a 3-month relationship when she was 16 contacted his literary agent at the time, who was the co-founder of the talent agency Tavistock Wood. She said a lawyer representing Brand contacted her denying the allegations and claiming she was looking for money. A statement given to the PA news agency by Tavistock Wood said Russell Brand categorically and vehemently denied the allegations made in 2020, but we now believe we were horribly misled by him. TW has terminated all professional ties to Brand. 2023, on September 16, a joint investigation by the Times, Sunday Times, and Channel 4 dispatches its published detailing allegations made against Brand. The night before publication, Brand denied the claims in a video posted online, stating that all of their relationships had been consensual before accusing the media of a coordinated attack. He said, amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. So, okay, so that's the skinny on everything there. I'm kind of wondering what you guys are saying now. The 18 isn't the age of consent everywhere in the US. It isn't? Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Okay, Vanessa says it is 16. Looks like Manson. I don't think I don't think he looks like Manson though. I don't. He has intense eyes. He just does. How long will it take for Katy Perry to jump in? Oh God, I hope not. But apparently, I heard that he, when he was, I guess maybe when he was in, in his addiction, he divorced her by text. That's, I think, you know what? There's a video where he talks about it when he was in addiction. I'm going to play a little bit of that. And I think he has remorse for that, from what I can tell from the video that I was listening to. Pronounced Leicester, bang in the middle of London. Oh. All of these relationships last several months. I smell BS. Yeah, some of them did. Yeah. I think it's BS. Gold digger, don't pay her. Gold digger, don't pay her, Russell. It's 16. Tavistock. Yeah. Yeah, you picked up on that too. Interesting, Vanessa. Yeah. Okay. Now I want to play, and this is weird because I know this is probably going to sound weird. Maybe you don't want to visualize this, but I like to take hot baths. And, I got into the tub the other night and sat and watched some of this because first I was playing it in the background. I'm like, you know what? There's some interesting things here. So before the allegations happened earlier this week, I watched this interview of Russell Brand and I was so impressed with him. And then all of a sudden, all this craziness broke out. Now this was uploaded 2 months ago. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this interview. This says Russell Brand finally opens up, escaping a lifetime of anxiety, addiction, and finding love. And this is from the Diary of CEO. So I'm going to go ahead and play some of this here.
Individualism and materialism. My initial solution to feeling disconnected and lonely was to try and become famous. If you are using impermanent means to achieve a permanent solution, you can only fail. But what I would say is in that loneliness, in that sense of I'm not good enough, I'm worthless, are all the ingredients of success, because it is sadly a gift to you.
What could I have added to 10-year-old Russell's life, do you think, that would have made him feel valued?
You are enough. You are sufficient. We are going to be okay.
What told you otherwise? Russell Brand is one of the most fascinating individuals I have ever spoken to. A former self-harming heroin addict, self-confessed narcissist, bulimic that craved fame and attention, and was so addicted to sex that he slept with 5 women a day that married Katy Perry 3 months after meeting her and then divorced her with a text message. Have you ever felt that subtle feeling that the way you're living is not quite right? That something somewhere is out of balance? That you're not living your life as that human somewhere inside you should be living their life? The Russell Brand that sits before me today can relate, and he's found a new cure for that feeling, a better way to handle pain, a new blueprint to live by, which he believes that you and me and all of us will eventually realize through failure and frustration. We are all addicts, searching for ways to feel less pain through porn and screens and sugar and addiction and drugs and whatever our vices might be. But maybe, just maybe Russell is right. And maybe there is a simple cure for all of us right there in plain sight. Russell, I read a comment at the top of a YouTube video that of an interview you did, and this was the comment: "This man is a hero. He's truly an example of transcendence across the spectrum, from the archetype of selfishness, enthralled by addiction, to complete selfness and self-awareness. I love this man with all of my heart."
Wow.
That was a comment left regarding you on a recent interview you've done. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you here.
I should admit that I wrote that comment. Sometimes I do, even though I know I've written it, when I read it back, it still gives me a boost.
I said to you before we start talking, I wanted to talk about disconnection.
Yeah.
Disconnection for me in my life started early. Disconnection for me was coming to the UK from Africa as the only black kid, went to Plymouth. Everyone's richer than me. Everyone's white. And that pursuit of filling that void of whatever it was, that shame, that insecurity, which is very clearly the reason I'm sat here.
Yeah.
What do we need to know about your childhood? How did it shape the man that sits in front of me today?
I have had a life that is being defined by addiction. And the addiction, and in particular, the models of recovery that are available for addiction, is a convenient framework for addressing the problems we have in our age that are expressed extensively and identifiably through materialism and attachment. I get attached to stuff. When I was a little boy, I grew up in a single parent family, just me and my mum. I come from an ordinary background in Essex, Grays. Ordinariness, normalcy, these can be terms that are difficult to define, but I think we all know what we mean when we say a normal, ordinary, modest, blue-collar background, low expectations, state schools. We know what images that conjures. My mum was sick a lot when I was a kid, and my mum was, and it was the defining influence in my life. All of us that are lucky enough to have mothers are going to be defined by that relationship as well as the other parental relationship. I feel like real early on, something in me, which I would now, because it's almost impossible, Stephen, not to reverse engineer these narratives, isn't it? And to thread it through with newly accrued and acquired wisdom. But I feel like I was looking for something. I feel that there is a deep spiritual appetite within all of us for connection, the subject that you have identified as our framing for this conversation that we are having. But we do not have a culture that presents us a discourse around connection. We have a culture that is predicated upon individualism and materialism. Your value, and this is, I think, across the political spectrum, and even in more compassionate narratives around identity, individualism is still enshrined as the centrifugal point. So I felt like that I was in a state of lack. I don't know what it is to be a man. I don't know what it is to be a success. I don't know what it is to have power. I don't know what it is, I recognize now, even to feel at ease, even to feel serene, even to feel relaxed. Is probably only by the time I got clean from crack and heroin and alcohol that I'd noticed that I'd been having an anxiety attack for basically my entire life.
When I first told my life story, which is an ordinary exercise at treatment centers that help people to get rehabilitated from chemical dependency, and I was fortunate enough to go to one. When the fella read it, Chip Summers, one of the first people in recovery I ever met, when he read it, he went, "Ah, poor lonely little boy." And I was 27 then. So I suppose my life has been defined by addiction, and addiction is in part a lack of connection, an attempt to synthesize the connection to self, other, and God. God, of your own understanding, perhaps understood as a totality, a sense of unity, a unity of force, a highest principle. When it says in the Old Testament, worship no other gods than me, the implication I offer is that we are a species that worships. And if you do not access the divine, you will worship the mundial, you will worship the profane, you will worship your own identity, you will worship your belongings, you will worship the template laid before you by a culture that wants you, but gets you distracted and relatively dumb. So my initial solution to feeling weak.
So I'm going to just kind of put that in there. I find it interesting that he made a biblical quote and that he mentioned God. And of course he said, as your interpretation, but, you know, as in the Bible, no one worships any other gods but me. There was another network recently, more of a religious network called Good Faith Ministries, that brought him up in the mix of being a celebrity that I guess would be considered to be like a Christian, which, I'm throwing this out there too, because what came to mind is that, well, I wonder if that's also something that has set people off. Not only is he talking against the establishment, but his spirituality, and I think we've seen a progression of Russell Brand. One of the criticisms that I sort of have had about Russell Brand is like, well, why does he have to dress like a guru? Like, he's playing the part. And so I'm kind of sensitive to stuff like that because I know what it's like to play the part, right? So I'm like, he's playing the part. But at the same time, as an artist and as a human being, he's very open about his life, and it seems like he is leaning more towards perhaps Christianity, which also might put him on the, being X'd list as well in terms of Hollywood. That I just want to throw that out there. All right. I know it's getting late, and hi, you're still with me, Sandra. You're a trooper. Did he accidentally blew his third eye open? Maybe. I'm not sure if that, I guess somebody could accidentally blow their third eye open. I think he's definitely an intuitive person, and probably I would be surprised if his pineal gland wasn't functioning very well, for sure. Now, there's also Cinema Shogun had some commentary, and I kind of like what he had to say, and I'm going to play a little bit of him and maybe show an interesting tweet that Jeff sent me, because I'm trying to just kind of look at all aspects of everything. But okay, so I think this is it. Okay, let's here it is. Yeah, this is the one that I want to show. Oh, wait. No. What? How did I clicked on my calendar. I'm working off of a new computer right now, so I did get a MacBook for school, actually, but I can use it here too. All right, here we go.
Russell Brand is. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, personally, I always found Russell Brand to be kind of annoying in the movies that he's in. I've never been a fan of his style of stand-up comedy. However, in recent years, I have enjoyed some of his YouTube content. Somewhere along the way, Russell turned his back on Hollywood and started exposing Hollywood. Much of Russell's content revolves around, much like my content, it revolves around bringing awareness to certain agendas that are at play in today's society. Much of his content revolves around calling out the elites for all of this shady stuff that they're doing in today's world, which I believe is probably one of the main reasons why we're seeing all of this stuff happen to Russell Brand right now. Now, what is happening to Russell, you ask? Well, it seems as if he is being targeted with some really heinous allegations and accusations. Why do I use the word targeted? Well, because in my opinion, this looks like a coordinated media attack. I mean, at the time of this recording, we don't even know what all of these allegations are because they're treating it like a prime time special event. They're treating it like playoff football. They're treating it like the premiere episode of your favorite reality TV show. Oh, we have all of these horrible allegations against Russell Brand. Do you want to know what horrible things he did to women? Well, tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to find out more details.
I think his perceptions are interesting too, Sandra. And the thing that bothers me the most about it is that he has interesting perspective on things. He is willing to investigate and not accept the mainstream narrative. He does seem like he's a voice of the people, and I'm really concerned to see him get attacked the way he is, because if they can do it to him, they can do it to others. And because you think someone like Russell Brand, well, they're not going to take Russell Brand down because he's Russell Brand, but he did get a strike on his channel. He did move on. He on his channel for talking about things against the YouTube guidelines, and we know what that was, right? It had to do with and so that got him in trouble, and then he opened it up to Rumble, and no, not the couch. Okay, thank you. And so he brought it up, got on Rumble and carried on, but we see these, and to see independent voices and entertainers, and entertainers like him get censored and just run over the mud, have a hit piece like this. What's probably going to happen, and probably what would happen, and maybe that's what he's talking to, this is when public relations steps in, and he's in a crisis. So, hopefully he has a good public relations team that can help him turn around these allegations. I'm wondering if this is going to become a legal issue. Are they just mudslinging, or are they planning on taking him to court? So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But hopefully it's just gonna pass, that it's mudslinging, that like maybe this is the moment where we realize, or it gets pointed out to people, like this is what the mainstream media does to our freedom of speech. They're going to attack somebody like this. Hollywood is I think really under the spotlight right now, and it's getting late, and I could go on with more videos about this. I'm looking at I've been watching this channel called Drama Boy. No, Orlando, stop. Not the couch. He's very naughty right now. This is his time, so he needs attention. So this is when he needs attention. So he's mad at me probably. He's gonna do the couch. No. I don't have the water bottle either right now. Get down. No. Get down. Thank you. So, where was I on this? Anyway, I just, I got distracted there. Here, let's keep going.
I'm sorry, but that type of stuff right there, it gives me a bad taste in my mouth. If you're a real victim, why don't you come forward with your story? Why do we have to wait until 10 p.m. is when we're going to release the allegations? It shows you that this is a media attack. You don't sit there and wait for an opportune time. You don't wait for a certain schedule to release allegations. If they're real, you just come forward. But no, this is all, much like a lot of these other events, a lot of these other allegations against other stars, this is all turned into entertainment. It's turned into these big spectacles, these big events. Oh, tune in at 10 p.m. as we cancel the latest celebrity. And I don't know about you all, but nothing about that seems genuine to me. Now, from my understanding, Russell has been pretty open about being an addict in the past. He's been open about living a promiscuous lifestyle, sleeping around with a lot of people. So I'm not necessarily here to tell you that these allegations are false or that they're true. However, if these allegations are true, it's clear that these are allegations that they held on to in order to use it against him in the future. We see this happen in Hollywood all the time. You know, they'll get dirt on you and they'll hold on to it until they're ready to take you out. Like with R. Kelly. Everyone knew R. Kelly was doing weird things with underage girls. Everyone knew R. Kelly married Aaliyah. No one wanted to say anything about it until R. Kelly didn't, he wasn't profitable anymore. It became more profitable to throw R. Kelly under the bus as opposed to keep him out here as a free man. So this is what we see happen in Hollywood all the time. They allow you to do whatever you want to do. You could be as successful as you want to be. But once you step out of line, and Russell Brand has stepped completely out of line. Not only does he not go with the mainstream narrative, he's calling out the mainstream narrative. He's calling out Hollywood. He calls out politicians. He's gone way too far overboard in their eyes, which is why all of a sudden all of these allegations are coming out right now at an opportune time, right before he starts a tour, right after we see him basically get pushed off of YouTube. YouTube's already been cracking down on him. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing all of this happen at once. And Channel 4 from the UK, I don't know much about them. I remember hearing about them and dealing with them during the Johnny Depp stuff. So they're already a shady organization. They're the ones behind everything that's going on right now. You see, the reason I say this is coordinated, because this is what they label as an investigation. These outlets, these media outlets, they work alongside the government, and when they're ready to take you out and tarnish your name, they will. So what they've been doing for months on end, they've been sending reporters and journalists all over the world to talk to random people who have had run-ins with Russell Brand. They're talking to random people who went to his comedy shows, random people who worked on the movie sets that he was on. And it's all a hit piece, because basically they'll go interview thousands of people just trying to find a few people who have a bad story. You know what I mean? So one thing that all of these...
Okay, so I think you guys got I'm just showing a little clip there. I think you got the point on his take. And I agree with him that they quite possibly, like the R. Kelly thing, like they knew what R. Kelly was doing. They knew it for a long time, but they just allowed it to happen. And then like they do something and they're like, okay, we're gonna pull the plug here. We have the scoop on you. You do what we want. Everything's fine, but you go against our agenda. You step out of the box and start looking at us. we're going to now everything that you've done here in the past, not only will we expose it, but we're also going to amplify it more than it really was. We're going to sensationalize it. And I really think that that is something that has happened to him. Okay, so it's right here in California. It's about 12:39 in the morning. And the fact that I have anybody watching right now, I really appreciate it. I think Sandra's stuck with me the whole way. And I realized that if people in the UK are watching, maybe it's time to go to work. I'm thinking perhaps. So I really appreciate like some of you guys who I know that are not in the United States coming in. Vanessa Bates, Jeff Reed being here in California with me as well. But I think this is concerning for me. I don't know about you guys, but it concerns me, and that's because I think that Russell Brand does a good thing, whether you think he's a Rothschild or whatever. Oh, wait a second. One last thing I want to show, and this is circulating on Twitter too, because the man that he has in this video apparently is a Satanist, and they're framing it in a certain way. And I just want to show this one last thing because this is going around on Twitter as well. Okay. Let me share the screen here. Okay, here we go.
Between us now?
I think so.
I feel love. Under the Skin is
what is this guy? Yuval Noah Harari and Russell Brand. He says this from this person, High Impact Flicks. Again, the agenda here is simple: pursue freedom and truth fears no scrutiny. I'm trying to look at what that profile is, but I don't know if Russell Brand, RAPED, anyone, but I do know that he loves and promotes a spokesman for Klaus Schwab's World Demonic Forum. Brand believes Yuval Noah Harari is a beautiful person. The WEF wants to destroy us. Thoughts? So, he probably sees a lot of people, and, Russell Brand has the whole, love and this and that. And, I don't know. I mean, but look, you can see how it's being framed, right? So here we go.
Back, and look who's with me. It's Yuval Noah Harari. Hello.
Hey, good to be here again.
Isn't it wonderful that we've found a way of communicating with each other in the form of podcasts?
I think it is.
And is there some love between us now?
I think so.
I feel love. I look at you. I look at your eyes. I think you're a beautiful person.
Thank you.
It's important, isn't it?
Very.
Not going to say I'm a beautiful person?
You are.
See? He thinks I'm beautiful. He was aching to
I'm
say
not
that.
good in this situation.
Yeah, but your husband looks happy over there.
My husband is very good in this situation.
Catch him. Look at that, see? You've got to think on the fly, girl. You've got to be gonzo. Well, me, Yuval Noah Harari, we are going to be talking about love, power, technological disruption. In fact, I've written down the three most important things. Nuclear war, climate change, technological disruption. They weren't written on that bit of paper. I just remembered them using my brain box. I've been learning. Under the Skin is back, and look who's with me.
Okay, anyway, there's that. So that's circulating. So, now you can see where people are just finding whatever they can and tweeting it. Is it targeted harassment? Are these people is this like another level of the kind of, targeted cyberbullying, targeted harassment that happens online, right? To a celebrity, kind of like the smaller version of that might be us, on YouTube from the Thomas Schoenberger gang, It's like, it's just like another level of all of this. Okay. So, oh, you're here, Jeff. Yay. Okay. I played it. All right. Well, we shall see what happens, with the mummified aliens and whether or not they're real or not. I'm thinking not. And we'll see what happens to Russell Brand. Hopefully he rides this and has a good PR and, you know, brings his sense of humor to the table and is able to flip these allegations and have things go in his favor. So we will see how everything plays out. Good morning. This is Monday now. And so I wish you guys a wonderful week coming up here. May you be blessed, safe, and happy. I will try to learn more about him. Good night, Jeff. And tell Bella I said good night. And I'll try to do an earlier show so she can hang out, because I got her message earlier about like we have to go to bed because it's a school night. And it's a school day for me too tomorrow. So I'm glad I was able to do a stream tonight. I didn't do last week because it's been a little bit busy, but I made it tonight. And so hopefully I can be here at least once a week and say hi and talk about something. Oh, and also be on the alert for my Rumble show, because I am going to do a LARPer of the month on Rumble, but that's specifically for Rumble, but that's coming. All right, so I'm going to play us out here with a song. And again, take care, you guys. I really appreciate I love having you in my chat. And I see some of like Sandra's here and all of you guys that showed up. It's fun. So thank you.
Save my soul. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. I want to save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. Pop said, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Pop said it, save my soul. Save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Won't chop said, save my soul. Pop said it, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Won't chop said, save my soul. Pop said it, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Won't chop said, save my soul. Pop said it, save my soul. Save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Pop said, save my soul. Pop said it, save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. One evening, moon was rising high, headed for the riverside around this fuss and fight.